Hi. Hold on. Hi, everybody. Welcome, weary traveler from Bizarro World. You gradually pass the Twilight Zone. That place is a train wreck, ain't it? You were thrown into a wall.
I love it. You guys are so great.
Then you took the ride and rolled right into the most offensive church this side of the universe. Welcome to my humble sage cave. Welcome. What we do here at this most amazing place, we read this great ass book. It's called God Said, because God did not say that shit. And we are on part 2 of this book, and it's called Jesus Who, you know, because apparently people don't know him. So I'm going to introduce you to my husband. His name is Jesus. He's a great guy. Very, very good. What am I doing in life? Oh, yeah. Yes. So, we are on chapter 2. Now, chapter 19 of book 2. We are on the first chapter. Yeah, it would be the first chapter of the story of my husband, Jesus. Yeah, he's a good guy. I know him. Haha, because I do. So, as you are piling into my sage cave, I am going to go pick up some other people. So, maybe I'm not going to pick up other people. Yeah, I might just not pick up other people. Yeah. So, I noticed a few of you are in here. Hello. Welcome to my cave. Wait, something's happening. Yep. Okay. Anyway. Hey, Neil. Welcome to the cave. We are on chapter 19 of this great book. And where we left off, Jesus was telling people to maim themselves permanently because it's better to go to heaven extremely maimed than go to hell in one piece. But if you're smart, you just won't have to maim yourself permanently. Hey, Miss Muddy, welcome to the Sage Cave. Oh yeah, and then he was talking about if your brother is an idiot, go tell everybody. And then if he doesn't listen, handle BI. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up, drunken wizard? How are you? Oh, everybody say hi to Henry. He just got his apartment today. He moves in Tuesday. So we're congratulating Henry. He got his apartment. He moves in Tuesday. So we are on chapter 19. So I'm going to go ahead and start chapter 19. Okay. But it came about when Jesus had finished speaking, he departed from Galilee and came to the region of Judea beyond the Jordan. And great multitudes followed his shiny piles of shit, and he healed them from there. And some of these terrible ass God people came testing him, saying, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife? Henry, everybody says congratulations and they love you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So these terrible ass God people are trying to trip Jesus up on word magic. Word magic is fucking real. Learn it. Okay. So they were trying to trip him up. Oh, is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any reason? And Jesus said, have you not read? He who is, wait, and he answered and said, have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female? And for this cause, a man shall leave his father and his father and mother, and shall leave his father and mother, and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one like the Spice Girls song, when two become one. Yeah. Consequently, they are no longer two, but they are one. And what, therefore, God has joined together, no man separates. And they said to him, why then did Moses command he give her a certificate of divorce? And Jesus was like, because y'all are fucking dumb and wouldn't shut up, is about, the crux of it. You guys don't know how to shut up. And y'all wanted some strange, but y'all was married. So then Moses was like, fine, whatever you want, do it that way. But listen, I'm telling you, he who divorces his wife, except for immorality, I don't know that fucking word. Immortality? That's not a thing. Immorality. Is that the word? I'm guessing that's the word. Anyway. And marries another woman, commits adultery. And his disciples said, if the relationship of man with his wife is like this, it is better to not marry. Look, if we can't get some strange on the side, we can't marry no women. Because we're marrying women for tradition. But if we can't get no strange, that sucks. But Jesus said, not all men can accept not getting strange, but only to those whom it has been given the need to not want strange. For there are eunuchs who were born that way from their mother's womb, and there are eunuchs who are made eunuchs by men, and there are also eunuchs who did it to themselves for the sake of heaven. He who is able to accept this, let him accept it. Then some children were brought to him, that he might lay their hands on them and pray. But the disciples were like, get the hell away, it's our Jesus. We don't know you. That's our purse. And then kicked them all in the nuts. No, that's what happened on Family Guy. That Jesus didn't kick people in the nuts. But he did tell them to back the fuck off, because who the fuck are they? And Jesus said, who are you that you get to tell me what I can do? Because I'm pretty sure, no, you can't. If I want to touch people, I'm going to touch them, no matter what you say. So shut the fuck up. Thank you. The kingdom of heaven belongs to these children. And after laying hands on them, he departed from there. And behold, one came to him and said, teacher, what good thing may I do to, hold on. Teacher, what good shall I do that I may gain eternal life? And Jesus said, why are you asking me about what is good? There is only one who is good. But if you wish to enter into life, keep the commandments. And he was like, which ones? And Jesus was like, you don't murder, you don't commit adultery, you don't steal, you don't bear false witness, you honor your father and mother, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. And the young man, hi Debs, welcome. And the little guy was like, but I've done this. What am I going to do? And Jesus said, go sell your shit and give it to the poor. Yeah. Do that. And little dude was like, yeah, but I got a PlayStation 5. I'm not giving that to somebody that can't afford a PlayStation 5. And then Jesus was like, you see this asshole? This is why rich people can't go to heaven, because they don't know. Thank you, Muddy. The groundhogs had babies and the raccoons had babies. So now I'm feeding 5 groundhogs. Oh, and the possum had a baby. So I'm feeding 5 groundhogs, 3 possum, and I think 10 raccoons, because there's babies again. Yeah, lick my stream. Don't lick my stream, it's probably pee. Just saying. Okay. So yeah, Jesus is like, this is why rich people can't go to heaven, because they're too worried about shit that don't matter. And then stupid Peter was like, then who can be saved? Because, PlayStation 5 is like a real thing and everybody wants one. And then Jesus said, with men, it is impossible to get rid of your PlayStation 5. But if you're doing it for God, it shouldn't even matter. And then Jesus was like, listen, you have followed me in the generation when the Son of Man will sit on his glorious throne. You also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging these terrible ass God people. And everyone who has left houses, or brothers, or sisters, or anybody, shall receive many times as much and shall inherit eternal life. Here we go. This is when Jesus tells us about the front of the line. But many who think they are going to be first will be in back of line. They go to purgatory. They have good time. No, I'm just kidding. They have bad time. But those of us weirdos that are in the front of line have good time and to party with God. It's a good time. Get your dancing shoes on before you die. Sleep in those mofos. You never know what's going to happen. And yeah. You're going for a walk? Okay. I'll see you when you get back. I had some cottage cheese because I fucking love that shit. Man, cottage cheese is life. I'm not even gonna lie. Dustin bought me a whole big tub and I ate half of it in one sitting. And after I'm done with this, I'm gonna eat the other half in one sitting. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about my 12 cats. Oh yeah, hold on. There's Maynard, Jack, Lucky, Blue, Captain, Spaz, Willow, Rose, Charlie, Sam, Luchador, and there's a black one we haven't given a name yet. Yeah. I got a gang of cats, a gang of raccoons, a gang of groundhogs, and a gang of possums. Yes. Yes, I do. It's not good any other way. Is that gross that I eat cottage cheese like that? Because I do. I love that shit, man. Well, it might be meowsis. Weasis. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I get it. It's not Weastis. I can't think of a name for her. Maybe Princess? Something like that. It's real cute. No. No. I don't put any fruit in my cottage cheese. I just eat it. Oh, that's a great idea. That's exactly what I'm going to name her. I'm going to name her Casper. But now we have to figure out how to get me dog food and cat food, and I don't even know what groundhogs eat. I'm trying to grow tomatoes for them. But do you guys want to smoke this bowl with me? Smoke this. I packed this bowl for two. I'm gonna want to smoke it with you. Miss Muddy, are you joining? Okay. So we're gonna go to chapter 20. Okay. Okay, so Jesus is like, you at the front of the line think you're going to be at back of line. And if you think you're going to party with God at front of line, you are going to back of line. And God never gets too back of line because he parties at front of line. For the kingdom of heaven, chapter 20. For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his thing. So he made a price, like, I'll pay you 15 shekels. So he went out in the morning and hired some people for 15 shekels. And then he went out in the evening and hired some people or in the afternoon, he hired some people for 15 shekels. And then he went out at dinner time and also was like 15. And they was like, bet, boss. And then when it came time to pay, he paid the last guys first and the first guys last. And the first guys were like, we should get more. And he was like, but you wanted 15. And they were like, but we've been here all day. And they have not been here all day. And he's like, the deal is a deal and we all have good time. Go spend your money at the bar. And they were like, we're going to go spend our money at the bar. And as Jesus was about to go to Jerusalem, can I just skip the rest of this? Can I just skip the rest of it? This is going to give me high blood pressure. I'm getting diabetes. I don't know what's happening, but I don't want to read it. Okay, here we go. This is when the lessons of lessons come, and probably where you'll see me break down in tears. Okay. And as Jesus was about to go to Jerusalem, he took the 12 disciples by themselves on the way, and he said to them, behold, we are going to the place, and the Son of Man will be delivered to these terrible ass God people, and they will condemn him to death. They're going to delete me from my own dad's YouTube, and I'm happy about it. I've been speeding up my whole demise this whole time, and I'm ready, because I told you the other day, how long am I going to deal with this shit? Turns out it's right about now. Yeah, that's the answer, right about now. And they will deliver me, or the Son of God, that guy, to the Gentiles to mock and scourge and crucify him. And on the third day, which is 420, by the way, I just want everybody to know 420 is Resurrection Day. I don't want to read it. Okay. So anyway, the third day, 420, he will be raised up. Then the mother of the sons of Zebedee, so the sons of Thunder's mom, came to talk to Jesus, like, can my sons be the best? And Jesus like, no, that's not my decision. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Das Babies next to me. Because Das Babies, not these two assholes. It's going to be Das Babies. And then he said, y'all don't even know what you're talking about. Listen, are you able to drink the cup that I am about to drink? And they were like, yes. These are motherfucking liars. These are liars. Shut up, Nikki. Shut up. Read the book. I'm reading the book. Read the fucking book. I don't want to. This seriously giving me split personalities. I am having a problem. Okay. We're doing it. We're doing it. Okay. So they were like, yeah, we can do that. And he said, yeah, you're going to. But to sit on my right or left, as I told your mom, it's going to be Das Babies. And hearing this, the 10 became indignant. But Jesus was like, come here, assholes. You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord over them, and their great men exercise authority. It is not among you, but whoever wishes to become great among you shall be your servant. And whomever wishes to be first will be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Okay. And as they were going out from Jericho, a great multitude again was following Jesus, shiny piles of shit. And behold, two blind men sitting by the road, hearing Jesus was coming. They immediately started calling for him, right? And the multitude was like, shh, he don't know you. That's his purse. Anyway, shut up. Don't even say it. I need to laugh or I'm gonna fucking cry. I can feel it coming. Look, I'm trying not to cry. This this is the worst part of this book. And we gotta read it 3 more times. I'm having a problem. Can we okay, let me get through this. There's like a paragraph left. And then I need to take a smoke break because I'm gonna hyperventilate. I'm not gonna hyperventilate, but this is seriously giving me emotional issues right now. This is why I did not want to read this book. But CNA provoked me until I did. So I'm blaming you, drunken wizard. This is all your fault. So they were telling them to be quiet, but they got louder. And Jesus turned around and said, "What can I do for you today, sirs?" And they were like, "We want to see what the sand looks like. Like we can feel it, but we don't exactly know. And we're surrounded by it, so we should at least know what it looks like, right?" And Jesus is like, "That is a very valid point." Okay. So moved with compassion, Jesus touched their eyes, and immediately they were open and they saw what the sand looked like. Okay. Okay, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad. And then, how many minutes? Okay, we're gonna do chapter 21. And I hope you guys are okay with me having a literal visceral reaction to my husband's murder. Because, I was baptized, so Jesus is my husband. So I feel like I can tell his story very dramatically because the murder of my husband is terrible. And if you guys have been baptized, he's married to you also. Except for the men, he's your guys' brother. I feel like baptism is like a really big step towards something really big. And the only real big step in life there is marriage. Are you leaving? Oh, wait, are you leaving? Are you leaving? Don't leave. Wait, we got more. We got more. And there's actually lessons I can teach in this. Me and my anti-preaching ass. Yeah. No, I was talking to Neil. Is Neil leaving? Now I'm so confused. Never mind. Don't listen to me because I have no idea what's happening. But you said you love us all like you were leaving. So I panicked. Because I can't be alone reading this story. This is one of those stories that you should never be alone because this is one of those take a razor blade to a bathtub with you stories. Or maybe I only feel like that. I've never met anyone else who gets as pissed off about this story as I do. And it's like, why? Why doesn't anybody else have these visceral reactions to this story? And they will read it over and over and over, and it doesn't even mean anything to people. Like, this is absolutely fucking horrendous. They deleted this guy from his own dad's YouTube over jealousy and bullshit that didn't even fucking matter. And nobody gets mad about it. Everybody worships these fucking terrible ass God people like they did something fucking miraculous. They literally murdered God. Literally murdered God. Why do people think these people are special? See, I'm in my soapbox. I'm out of pocket right now. I'm getting high blood pressure. What the fuck is wrong with me? Yeah, maybe that's my problem. What is happening, Miss Muddy, is I'm having a meltdown. I said I didn't want to read this story, but it's CNA's fault. But now that I'm reading it for the third time, they're not vampires anymore. Now they can just be called terrible ass God people because they're no longer split in two. And the story that we're in on the David side, they are still split in two. They're two different people because David made them split in half. It was a whole thing. Yeah, and I need to get over this story. So I need to read it again so I can desensitize myself to this terrible shit. But there, going towards the end of this story are lessons that everybody gets wrong that I feel like I should correct because you guys are smart enough to handle it, which is maybe another reason that I have to read this story because I say things that are valid, right? Yeah. Even a pig has clout. Somebody told me that once, and I was like, you spelled sage wrong. But I was thinking about that. Maybe I do need to clean my cave and rearrange. But what do you guys think so far about Jesus like expediting his demise? Which I also blame Jesus for a lot of this also because he's expediting his demise. Like he's just seriously going around doing stupid shit so these people get mad at him. He's just like fucking the whole world off. But we are going to the finale of his tour. That's when he's got his Stone Cold vest on and his wrestling boots, and he's like Stone Cold stunning the Pharisees and shit. He even gave the Sadducees the rock bottom. It was like a whole thing. He was singing Limp Bizkit. He's like, dun, 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 dun. It was like a whole thing. I'm telling you. And the disciples were coming off the ropes. They were flying off the top rope. It was like a whole thing. They were giving the elbow. It was hell in a cell. It was like a thing. Well, technically, they are the mafia. If you think about it, God rolls around doing whatever the fuck he wants. And Jesus rolls around doing whatever the fuck ever he wants. And he's literally having his tour dates inside the churches on Sabbath. Jesus, Jesus gives no shits, dude. All of his concerts are on the Sabbath. Have you noticed that? He goes into the church and talks mad shit. And remember, I am from the ghetto. I am ghetto. And I only know ghetto things. So I can relate this Bible to life. And my life is filled with drug dealers and juggalos. Both are hard ass people. My therapist told me that today. She told me that today. Just do something for 10 minutes every day. And I was like, I can't even do things for 1 minute any day. But she told me, you have to. And then Dustin was also getting really mad at me about the party pen. He's like, you got to clean it up. I was like, it's principle. And he was like, what the fuck does that have to do with a clean house and being a good wife? And I said, probably nothing, but it's principle. Well, my therapist said, do one thing for 10 minutes. So you can say a therapist told you, you can do one thing for 10 minutes. But what if I did 10 minutes throughout the day? See, that's what I need to work on. 10 minutes at a time throughout the day. Yeah, I'm going to work on that. And then you guys can berate me on Fridays when I tell you I didn't do shit. Then you can berate me and be like, you are a fucking shithead. And I'll be like, I am a fucking shithead. Yeah, therapist told you. Well, a therapist told me, and I told you, you can just consider me a therapist, at least for that excuse. Well, therapists need therapists because they deal with crazy ass shit like me. I have two therapists. Um, counselors are a scam. Counselors are a scam. Therapists are very reasonable people. You got to be reasonable. Or vaporizer. No, I don't use those vaporizers. I like to smoke joints, but all I have is this bowl. All right, let's go on to chapter 21. Okay. Okay. And when they had approached Jerusalem and had come to Bethphage, Bethphage, to the Mount Olives, which I swear is a bar. Anyway, then Jesus sent two disciples, saying, "Go into the village over there, and immediately you will find a donkey and a colt with her. Untie them and bring them to me. And if anyone says something, be like, God Jr." Anyways, God Jr. needs them, and immediately he will send them. Now, this took place. What was spoken through the prophet might be fulfilled, saying, "Say to the daughter of Zion," which is the city of David. Any Zionists that might be watching, it's the city of David. Yeah, you don't got to search for it. It is not in America. It is the city of David, literally. Literally, we read it in the book, David. We just passed it because it. Anyway, Zion is the city of David. You could just go there. "Behold, your king is coming to you, gentle and mounted on a donkey, even on a colt, the foal of a beast of burden." That is my favorite Rolling Stone song. "I'll never be your beast of burden. I walk for miles, my feet hurt." Anyway, best Rolling Stone song. And the disciples went and did just like Jesus said, and brought the donkey and laid on them their garments on which he sat. And most of the multitude, shut up, Nikki. Most of the multitude spread their garments on the road. So everybody got naked and gave Jesus their clothes. And some were cutting branches from the trees and spreading them on the road. And the multitudes were gathering before him, saying, hold on, Baruch Shep Adonai. My mom told me that's Jew for "blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Hosanna in the highest. Look, his name went from Jesus to Emmanuel to Hosanna. Pick a fucking name and stick with it, man. "And when he had entered Jerusalem, all the city was stirred, saying, Who is this? Who is this guy?" And the multitudes were saying, "This is the prophet Jesus from Nazareth in Galilee." And Jesus entered the temple. Okay, so Jesus is getting ready to start his tour. So his disciples were giving him his wrestling boots. They were giving him his stone cold vest. They gave him the Rock's eyebrow, and they were running up there, right? And Jesus came in there, and all you hear is Limp Biscuits, dun, 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 right? And then the curtains open, and Jesus like, "Just one of those days," and then just starts busting everybody's ass. He's stone cold stunning people. He's giving the Sadducees a rock bottom. He's like doing the Undertaker shit, like pure striking in the corner. And then he choke slammed one of them. And then out of nowhere, he tombstone pile drives the head Sadducees. And then everybody was freaking out and running out of there. And then the disciples and the multitude were like, "Fuck yeah, we love his concert." Yeah, it was good. And then, wait. "And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. But when the chief priests, when these terrible ass God people saw the wonderful things he had done, and the children who were crying in the temple, saying, Hosanna, the son of David, they became indignant and said to him, Do you hear what these are saying?" And Jesus was like, Yeah, have you ever read Das Biblay? Like, these guys are telling the truth because the whole babes out of the mouth of babes thing, whatever. And then he left them, mic drop, and went out to the city Bethany and lodged there. Now, in the morning, when he returned to the city, he became hungry. Jesus is not a nice guy. He's not the nice guy. Anyway. So, seeing a lone fig tree by the road, he came to it and found nothing in it except for leaves. And he said, "You're going to die forever." And the thing died forever. And the disciples saw this and was like, "He's not supposed to kill anything." No, that's not what they said. They said, "How did the fig tree wither at once?" And Jesus said, "Listen, I'm telling you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you shall only do what was done to the fig tree. But even if you say to this mountain, be taken up and go that way, it shall happen. In all things you ask in prayer, believing you shall receive." And when he had come to the temple, these terrible ass God people came to him as he was teaching and said, "That's raccoons." "What are you doing? You guys are so funny." No, you guys can't come in. You're not supposed to be in here. Come on. Hi. Okay. Okay. Here, I'll give you a little bit of food. No, you're not supposed to be in the house. Go on. Go on. You can't be in the house. They are so fun. I love those guys. He almost let me pet him, and he held my hand. They're such nice boys. They're good. They're good boys. Okay. Okay. Now, he had come into the temple, and these terrible ass God people came as he was teaching and said, "By what authority do you do these things?" And Jesus said, "I will ask you one thing." See, this is so aggravating. Why do you answer a question with a question? But anyways, he said, "I will tell you, but the baptism of John was from what source? From heaven or man?" And they began to cluck like chicken heads, like bark, 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 bark. And they didn't know the answer. So they told Jesus, "We don't know the answer." And he's like, "Well, then I'm not telling you." But then he's like, "But what do you guys think? A man had two sons, and he came to the first and said, 'Hey, will you go work?' And he was like, 'Yeah,' but he played his PlayStation instead. And he came to the second and said, 'Will you do it?' And he's like, 'No, not yet.' So afterwards, yeah, he afterward regretted it and went. Which of the two did the will of the Father?" And they said, "The second one." And Jesus is like, "Listen, I'm telling you, tax the fucking weirdos that are not accepted are going to heaven before you motherfuckers. Front of line and back of line, he tells you, these are the line. And you are going to back of line, sir." "For John came to you in the way of righteousness, and you did not believe him. But the tax gatherers and the harlots believed him. And you, feeling this, did not even feel remorse afterward, so as to believe him." I got another one for you. Here's a riddle. There was a landowner who planted a vineyard and put a wall around it and dug a wine press and built a tower and rented it out to vine growers and went on a journey. And when it was time to collect the stuff, he sent a guy to go collect it. But they beat that guy up and killed him. So he sent another one. And they beat him up and killed him. And then he was like, well, surely if I send my son, they would believe that. They would let him live. But no, they beat him up and killed him also. And then Jesus is like, what would that landowner do when he gets back and everybody's dead? What would he do? Hold on. Throw him out. They said to them, he will bring those wretched to an end and will rent out the vineyard to other wine growers who will pay him the proceeds. And Jesus said, did you ever read in the scriptures, the stone which the builder refuses becomes a key cornerstone? It's Bob Marley. And it came about from the Lord, and it's marvelous in our eyes. Therefore, listen, I'm telling you, the kingdom of God will be taken from you and given to a nation producing the fruit. And he who falls on this stone will be broken to pieces, but whomever it falls, it will scatter him like dust. So Jesus is going to break you. Either way, you're going to be broken. You're going to either be in pieces or you are literally going to end up nothing until Jesus puts you back together. And when these terrible ass God people heard these parables, he knew they were talking about them. And when they sought to seize him, they feared the multitudes because they beheld him as a prophet. And that is the end of that.